Hadassah has many voices, but when it comes to the value of learning, we're all on the same page. That's why we chose On the Same Page as the name of our National Book Club. I recently met with the author of one of the club's summer selections. The book is called Standing By. In this book, Alison Buckholtz talks about the challenge of forming a Jewish community on a military base and the anxiety of having her husband, who's a pilot, deployed to the Persian Gulf. I hope you'll find Alison's experiences as fascinating as I did. Hi there, Alison. How are you?
Great. Thank you for having me today.
As you know, Hadassah has created an ongoing study of books, and your book for the summer reading is one of 4 books that's been chosen, Standing By. What's it about?
In Standing By, I talk a lot about my husband's 7-month deployment. He was on an aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf. He's an active duty Navy pilot, and this was in 2007 and 2008, so it was very recent. During the war, yeah. I talk a lot about the ups and downs that we experienced as a military family. For me, reading Hadassah magazine and being part of the organization was always something that I wanted to do and that I knew I would do. So when I became a member myself, it really was like a rite of passage for me. And I think there are a lot of parallels with what Hadassah members do in their communities and the way that Hadassah really nurtures Jewish women leaders.
Give me an example of what it was like, though, in the Jewish holidays. How did you celebrate as a family?
I really felt like it was time for me to step up and fulfill some of the responsibility as a leader. So I volunteered along with my husband to be the Jewish lay leader of our base, and little by little we cultivated a community. We did spend the very first set of high holidays totally on our own. By the end of our 3-year tour there, we had a group of about 15 families who celebrated together. Wow. Our Passover Seder had about 45 people there.
Did you do all the cooking?
No, people were wonderful. Everyone took turns hosting, everyone cooked, every event was potluck.
A touching moment in the book on Yom Kippur when your husband is deployed. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's not impossible to be Jewish in the military by any means. It's hard to be rigorously observant in the military, as we had found. And actually my husband was scheduled for training the day of Yom Kippur that year. So he left early that morning, and I took my kids to school, and I sat in our room looking out at the garden in front of me, and I was reading the prayer that talks about who will live and who will die, and whether it's by fire or by sea. And I was thinking about my husband the whole time, flying on an aircraft carrier over the water. And it was a very painful moment for me because it was a time when I realized that the coming year was full of unknowns. But it gave me a lot to think about because I saw almost for the first time how delicate and precious life is and the way that this particular Jewish prayer embodied that idea.
What in these past few years has been the most identifiably difficult thing for you to adjust to?
Being on my own with the kids and being the one who really has to cultivate their character and show them the path to morality and how to be a good person. I think that if my husband was around more, it would be a lot easier.
Any message you want to share with the people that are watching this podcast from all over the world?
I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about our experience as a military family in America during wartime, because I think that people don't understand that Jews serve in the military, Jews serve honorably in the military, and that it is possible to live a Jewish life in the American military today.
You're an inspiration to how you can cope with, and cope very, very well, with whether you're a single mom or your time is spent as a single mom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming to Hadassah House.
Pleasure.